This is Jackie B. Grice, and I am here today with another series, another teaching moment, another launching deeper moment, launching DeepHer, and I am here with none other. Guys, are y'all ready for this? Nena Gilreath. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you have it correct.
Now let me just break this down to you guys, who I have on the couch with me today. She is the second Black African-American owner of a ballet company, but the first female owner of an African-American ballet company in the U.S.
Correct.
I don't know. This is launching deeper, guys, because that is amazing. Just tell me about how you got started, some of the things you went through in pushing that out in an industry where we're not known to be in the forefront.
Okay, so there are many stories how I got started.
Right.
I moved here to dance with the Atlanta Ballet, and that was in the late 80s, 88. And dancing at the ballet, I saw a lot of people in the room, but many of them did not look like me, right? So for me, it was important always to see representation, but at that time, that word wasn't a big buzzword like it is now. So as soon as I walked into the building, my first comment was, where's the Black people? You know, where are they? This is Atlanta, right?
Right.
So moving here from New York, I was dancing with the Dance Theatre of Harlem.
Oh, wow.
And auditioned because I wanted to come back to the South. I'm from North Carolina.
Okay.
So always I've been a teacher. If I've known anything, I wanted to share it. As soon as I learned to dance or any formal steps, if you wanted to be my friend, you had to learn the dance steps and you had to work with me in my basement. So I'm a natural born teacher. So coming to Atlanta, I really felt that I had a purpose beyond my own physical dancing and what that meant to me. Yeah. And when I looked around, I thought, wow, if I want to do this, I'm special, but there are other special people that probably would like this opportunity as well.
Absolutely.
So I started teaching in the outreach program at the ballet. It was called Good Moves. And I saw a lot of traction in kids that wanted more and needed more that were on scholarship in that program. So at the time, my boyfriend, Waverly Lucas, who became my husband and co-founder, he also came to Atlanta to help me move here, but he wasn't necessarily coming here because we both had jobs in a lot of places all over the United States. But I knew, I just felt like the magnet to Atlanta. And then once he was here, they offered him a job as well.
Wow.
And so after a season at the ballet, I was like, it's time for something different. Something bigger and larger is calling us. So we met with Dr. Richard Long, who he has written a book, or he had written a book about dance, and it featured Dance Theatre of Harlem and a lot of renowned Black dance companies. And we met with Louis Johnson, who was the choreographer of The Wiz.
Wow.
We asked Louis, because we'd worked with him in New York, to start the company because we felt like it needed to happen, but we were too young. We didn't know the business part. And Louis Johnson said, no, I'm too old. You guys are young and you should do this thing. So at that point, we're like, okay, but we don't know anything about the business. He said, you know the best part, dance. So we set out to start it, and we contacted Moselle Spriggs, who was the chair of dance at Spelman College. And that was on January 15th, 1990. And she said, I've always wanted to see this vision. I'll help you. So from Spelman College, she helped us to formulate our board of directors and all of those necessary nuts and bolts.
Wow, wow, that is amazing. There's so much about what you said is just so in line with my audience. Because number one, you knew that you were purposed for more. You knew you were in this industry, you loved to dance, but you know that there was more in you. But see, the thing that a lot of people don't do, what did you do? You reached out to people that had done things in that industry, that had knowledge, that had wisdom in that. And so many of us today, with all of the things, we're in the University of Google.
Yes.
Google is our everything. But the thing is that you had the wisdom to reach out to someone else, and those people helped you. So I hear it all the time. People will say, well, I don't want to reach out to them. They don't have the time. I don't need a coach, a mentor. I don't need someone, an advisor. I don't need someone to do this. I can figure it out myself.
No way.
Oh my gosh. You just naturally had that. But there are a lot of people that are listening to us today that they don't just naturally think, I need help. I talk about partnering all the time. I talk about that. The other interesting thing you said is that the one gentleman you went to, because you're like, hey, I need someone to come along with me, he sort of said, you have everything to do it. That probably was a scary moment for you.
It was scary, but I trusted I trusted him because we had danced with him in New York, and he's someone I really respected a great deal.
Wow.
So immediately I thought, if he thinks we can do it, then we probably can do it. We don't know everything, but no one knows everything,
Absolutely.
And even now, we don't know everything because things are constantly in change and progressing. So what I learned early on is that we don't do anything alone. I come from a place in North Carolina where community was great.
Wow.
My family was always around, my aunts, my uncles. We always had leadership from our elders, so I was never afraid to ask people to mentor me. That was a big thing. I would see people, women in business, and if I was at an event, I would just go up and go, can you help me? There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Absolutely. I don't know where that came from, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to go to other people and just ask. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is no, I can't. And then you go to the next person. But I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about it because you don't. Even today, we're in 2023, almost 2024, and you don't see a lot of brown people that are ballerinas that are in that industry. So going back to when you started and this love for dance, so you knew, like, at what point did you say, this is what I want to do? And what was that spark or that trigger that just made you think about, I want to do ballet? Wow,
that's a really good question, because now we're living in, for me, the passing of time. Growing up in North Carolina, there were not a lot of blacks on TV. There were not a lot of black dolls. We did not see people and things that look like us. So when I would watch TV or ballet on Dance in America, I would see all these beautiful white ballerinas, and I was like, wow, I think I can do that. I'm flexible. I'm always dancing. Where am I in this picture?
Wow.
So I always knew I wanted to dance. I'm from a place where there were factories and people were crafts people, and they sewed and they did things with their hands and they cooked, and I was not good at any of that. So I was like, maybe I was born in the wrong town. Because my mom and my aunt say I could sew and crochet and knit and bake, and I was so not interested in anything in the kitchen. In fact, they would call me Bernie. I would burn up everything because I was just trying to get it done. But dancing, I could express myself. If I was happy, I was dancing. If I was hungry, I was dancing. When my friends came over, whoever they were, we were dancing. So I knew that was for me. And once I saw that there was the North Carolina School of the Arts in Winston-Salem, I knew that I was going to go there. I was going to audition, and this was going to be my pathway. And even when I told people in my family, they were like, that's a fantasy. Nobody does that. You don't see it anywhere. So I was like, well, maybe I'm going to be one of the first. in this area, but I have another good friend who became a dancer from our little hometown. Right. So we kind of migrated towards each other. And then at the School of the Arts, we had our Infinity group. There were very few black women there. Right. And we were young, from like 16 to 20. We all kept together and held each other up and helped one another, because we knew that this dream was a hard dream, but we knew with the support of each other that we could hold each other up. Wow. And we were all very gifted. So it was just that push through, that belief that God had put something in us special. And for me, not only that I could dance, but I could use dance to help impact other change, you know, and those lessons and the discipline that you learn from dance, particularly ballet, because ballet is very specific. Yeah. The craft of it is very specific. Dancing sur la pointe, or on your toes, takes a lot of training, a lot of discipline, a lot of commitment, pain tolerance. But the outcome is great. So all of those lessons, I felt like kids that came up learning this, that they could utilize it in other parts of their lives, even if they didn't want to become professional dancers. And then further, I wanted to create a place where we could be in the forefront and not in the background of other companies.
I love that. I love it. I love it. You said something so important that I really want this audience to hear, and it is about community. You have to have community. It is impossible to do anything great. I mean, you know, like you said, when you started and you were like, the atmosphere you were in, they were cooks and, you know, people that worked with their hands. Yes. And that you knew didn't resonate with your calling, your purpose. But you found a community of people that could help each other. I say this to people all the time. You have to get in a circle of people, be in a group, a community of people that are pushing and pulling one another, because it is already difficult to push out something that you don't necessarily see all the time. Right. To do that in an industry that you don't see all the time with people that look like us. So, not surrounding yourself with positive people that can, when you feel like giving up, they say to you, don't give up, we can do this, we're in this thing together. It's just so important. People, stop trying to do stuff by yourself. Stop. You can't. You cannot do that.
You can't. We had one very big mentor, because we wanted to create community here. One of them was Mrs. Joanne Harris. She just passed away, but when we came to Atlanta, we wanted to have all the brown hues of tights, because they were not here. And at Dance Theatre of Harlem, we wore brown tights. So she saw me dyeing the tights, and she came in with her daughter, and she was like, I can do that for you. You never have to do that again. So in celebrating her life, I had so many beautiful stories to tell about how one member took over something that I couldn't do, so that I could be placed in the places where I could best serve. So helping your community to grow, it just puts people in the right place, in their purpose, in their gift, because that also gave her a whole new life, a life of creativity, because she was a nurse by trade. Right. And then she brought her nursing care to us. And then she also blocked out some of the negative things that would try to get to us as young artists. So community has many different purposes. She brought in all her family and friends, and she transported the teenagers during that day. So it's really, community is a lift up.
That's it. That's it. I love it. You know, it's crazy because our time, it's like we were almost at our time, but you went from already launching DeepHer to become a ballerina. You start your company, Ballethnic. Yes. That's it. But you launched even deeper because of what you guys do and what you stand for in the community and for other young people that don't necessarily see it in their community. Tell us just about Ballethnic. I want you to also tell us what you do for the community, if you can do that, all wrap that up in a certain amount of time. And we have to talk about this urban nutcracker that is happening. So
that's lofty. So I believe that if we're really working on purpose, we can create a ripple effect. So as a young Black woman dancing, I did not realize that my work as a business owner could be an example for other young women and men that wanted to start their own businesses in dance. So right now I have several other students that have businesses in dance, in film, and other things, and we all talk and collaborate, so that's important. That's important to our legacy, because now I can see this ocean, this ripple effect of dancers, dance artists, and business leaders. Some of our students are now doctors and lawyers, and they assist us when we need help, because, you know, we taught them when they were teenagers, so I can call them and they're like, Miss Nena, sure. Mr. Waverly, sure. So that is like our legacy unfolding. I tell my students, you may start out as the youngest person in the room and be the oldest as you go along, or the person with wisdom. Right. So all of that has led into our most long-standing ballet, Urban Nutcracker. We were innovators of the ethnicized trend of ballets, because back then we knew that the Nutcracker, which we had performed many, many Nutcrackers, did not represent us as a people.
Absolutely.
So we changed the storyline. We made it happen. 1940s, Auburn Avenue, one of the richest avenues in the nation at that time. So we could celebrate and talk about an important part of Black history. And our students could learn about the businesses on Auburn Avenue in the 40s. So that was important to us. And it was a way to continue to build community, because we did not have the assets like the sets and the props. So my mom helped to buy prom dresses, and we repurposed them and put laces on it. Mrs. Harris said I spoke about, she put bows on people's head. There were no Black Nutcrackers in the 90s. My mom hand painted all the Nutcrackers, which she taught me how to do. And I still hand paint them. The Nutcrackers were all white, and then our Nutcracker is a Marcus Garveyite Nutcracker, so that we talk about that empowerment in business through Marcus Garvey, help students learn about that. The lead character is the brown sugar, which is the sweetest sugar of them all, and she's led by the chocolatier. So our Nutcracker was to provide empowerment to brown and caramel and vanilla chocolate. So all the colors of brown, and so that we could be seen in a very positive way. Every body type is on stage, every age range from age 5 to sometimes there are people close to 80. Wow. Community is reflected on our stage. So it's going to happen December 8th through the 10th. We're going back where it started to Morehouse College, King Chapel. 93 is where the first version of it, the full-length version, debuted. So we're very, very excited to go back to Morehouse and looking forward to that. Tickets and information can be seen on ballethnic.org. So we're in the throes of it now. We have parents training to learn how to do the quick changes, put the costumes on everybody. We're stitching, we're learning makeup. And it's a really busy but fun time.
I love it. I love it. We're going to make sure that we put all of that information on the lower third so people can purchase tickets and just learn about your organization, because I know for me, I didn't know that, I know about ballet and you hear about the Dance Theatre of Harlem, but just to be able to be in arm's reach of someone that just for women, has been a true impact in the community, and to start something that didn't exist. I mean, that is amazing. So,
and to make it last, that is really the hard part, is to overcome and to be persistent, tenacious, and you have the ups and downs. But through the grace of God and our own belief, I am an eternal optimist, even when things seem to be falling apart. I know that I'm surrounded by my ancestors, the people that have come through Ballethnic, that have given their money, their time, and their treasure, that are no longer with us. The people that are still here with us, that are helping to push us forward. And we know we're going to leave Ballethnic in a greater space to the next generation. And really, that's my biggest goal at this point, because I want it to be led by one of the students that has come up through the organization, and that it won't be so tough for them.
I love that. And you just, you said something else. Oh my gosh, I love, it's easy to start a business. It's harder to keep a business. It's even a less and smaller percentage of those that sustain a business through pandemics, through economic downturns, through all of the above. Racism.
Because I always say I was validated when I was born by grace of God and my parents. So I don't need someone else to validate me at this point. I'm fully formed.
Oh my gosh. We could go on and on. I think I've said this with every person. I know we're going to connect again. I know we're going to do more. I'm so excited and so grateful and privileged to have met you. Again, please follow her company. Please look how you can contribute. If you're able to be able to go to this urban nutcracker, I think would be...
Yes, come on out.
Come on out.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we got the Christmas stuff going on. We are ready for it. Last quick question. They're going to kill me, but I have to ask you this. All that you've done, what is your launching deeper, your next? What is it like your heart?
Oh, wow. I love that question. It is unfolding, and it's to be global Ballethnic. We had the opportunity to travel to Tanzania, East Africa, and to start a ballet program there. So I'm loving to be able to give to another community that doesn't have all the things that we have, and to give them business advice has been very exciting to help them understand how to raise money, how to price their different products. Africulture is where we were. They have a community garden that we help to sponsor. So Ballethnic is global, and I really love that.
I want to be a part of that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So starting from not having seen what you've done, you hadn't seen it, to where you are, to global, is absolutely amazing. This should inspire anyone that is trying to launch DeepHer, that if she can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
All right, guys, I guess our time is up, but as always, God has placed something great in your hands. It doesn't matter how small it is, how big it is. Steward what He's given you. Don't covet what someone else has, but use what God has given you in your hands, and He will bring the people. He will open the doors. He will provide the resources. Girl, you just made my heart happy today.
Amen.
All right. Well, I love you guys. As always, continue to launch deeper. And please follow us at launchingdeeper.com. Join our community. I want all of us to launch deeper. God has called me to help. I feel like, I want to help people give birth to their purpose and what God has placed in your hands. So follow us at launchingdeeper.com. And until next time, on our next series, Launching DeepHer, see you guys again.